Yo, what is going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the King of Asgard, All-Father Odin. So, we've been wanting Odin added to this game for the longest time. You know, the biggest currency of units that you can buy in this game is called the All-Father Odin's Vault, which, you know, implies Odin. We've been buying Odins for years, so the fact that we finally have this dude in game is so awesome. But there's always a worry when Kabam adds these very powerful comic book lore-esque characters, like, call it centuryitis, where, you know, a champion is so strong in the comics, and then they get added to the game, and they're, like, not even close to top tier, and then you have champions like Ghost, which in the MCU is a joke compared to most characters, power-wise, and she's like arguably the best champion in the entire game. It's like, huh? And like, what? It just really doesn't make sense, and that's a real problem that this game suffers, man. So, especially with the Cosmic class too. The Cosmic class sees this all the time, where like Corvus and Cosmic Ghost Rider are just absolutely insane, and it's what every new Cosmic champion will get compared to. So how does Odin compare to them? He's definitely not as good as them, like on his own as a character. But he's a pretty solid champion, I'd say, with the Odin sleep. But without the Odin sleep, oh god, no, I wouldn't even want to use him. I wouldn't even want to use him. So in the Odin sleep, I'm really not a fan of this. How it works is at the start of the fight, Odin's first fight as an attacker, and every fight as a defender, he gains the Odin sleep. When Odin wins a fight, the next fight, when Odin's teammates win a fight, at the next fight, Odin gains this Odin sleep. That's the only way to gain it back. You have to win a fight with someone else. So you can't just use Odin over and over again. As soon as you go into a fight with him, that consumes your Odin sleep, and the only way to get it back is to have a teammate win another fight. And like, just without the Odin sleep, his damage is just terrible. Like with it, it's like, yeah, you know, not bad, pretty good damage. But, you know, like not Corvus or Cosmic Ghost Rider level. But without it, it's just like, dude, I'm playing like pre-buff Terrax. It's not fun. It's not a good time. With the Odin sleep, you gain a Fear buff and an Armor up buff, and you can gain 2 of these, and they're pretty good potency-wise. But yeah, without them, bro, it's just not fun. I'm really not a fan of this whole mechanic. And Karate Mike pointed out that, like, you know, like Odin doesn't need to sleep after like every fight. Like, he takes his Odin sleep to recuperate over like a year period or something like that. It lasts a very long time. Like, he shouldn't need to do it like every fight. So yeah, I don't know. I think I saw an idea that like the Odin sleep could just like heal you, just like free regen or something like that. And it's just like there's no negative side to the Odin sleep. You know, if you don't have it, it doesn't butcher your damage. You know, it should only be a positive that you get. So yeah, I'm really not a fan of that. But yeah, but I do think Odin has some real value in his pre-fight and crossfight abilities. The cool thing about Odin's crossfight is that, you know, it's not restricted to one specific class, not restricted to the Cosmic class, whereas, you know, Apocalypse, he is fully restricted to the Mutant class when granting the Horseman ability. But Odin has no such limitation, and he can grant these buffs to any champion other than Odin himself, which is really cool. He can give an aptitude buff, he can give a protection buff, or he can give a shock resist buff, and all 3 of these buffs can be given to one champion. And the cool thing is, you know, opposed to like Mr. Fantastic, where it only lasts 1 fight, these last the entire quest, which is pretty cool. And I'm sure we're going to come up with a lot of cool combinations and find really good uses for these. One just off the top of the head is Angela. You apply all 3 of these buffs to her, and if she's high enough sig, she pretty much just straight up becomes immune to damage over time debuffs. Like, just straight up. Like, that's pretty insane. So yeah, Odin has some kind of weird abilities and how you want to play him. It actually, like, when I read his abilities and I thought I understood him, and then I played him and I'm like, oh, that doesn't even, like everything started to actually click once I played him. It made so much more sense. So I don't want to read his abilities yet. I'll just talk about it in the fight and show you guys what's going on, how it works, because I find it much easier that way. And just like reading the base abilities, it's hard to like I don't know, it's kind of confusing sometimes. It doesn't make actual sense, like, in fight how it actually happens. So let's go jump to some gameplay, and I'll show you guys the ideal rotation that I found for Odin personally, and you guys can be the judges of his damage output with having the Odin Sleep active. Alright guys, so we're going to be going ahead and jumping into the testing ground of mcoc Realm of Legends. We're jumping in here with no synergies, just straight up Odin. I am running Suicide Masteries, like I pretty much always do in off season. And yeah, we're going to be jumping into the test dummy punching bag of the game, Winter Soldier. So we do have Odin Sleep active, so you see we start with that Fury and that Armor Up buff, and they are both permanent buffs, which is really great. So what you want to do at the start is every time you knock down the opponent, or if you get knocked down, you get those Odin Force charges, and then once you get to 2 of them, basically you can use them for different stuff. So on heavy attacks you can gain additional energize buffs. Right there I use them to gain 5 of those energize buffs, so I'm at 6 total now, which is going to help me gain a lot more power. On the special one, you naturally gain a True Strike buff, but if you have 2 of those Odin Force charges, you also gain another buff that increases block proficiency, or perfect block, something like that. And then if you use it with the special 3, I think you get an extend buff, so it increases the duration of all future buffs by 15%, and it in and of itself is a buff. And the special 3 also activates all buffs that have been triggered so far, Odin's personalized buffs. So now this is pretty much perfectly set up. We have one of all the buffs that we want to gain. Now we want to get to the special 2, because for every buff that you have, the special 2 will deal more damage. So right there you see we did 81,000 damage right there, based on it depends on the opponent's health pool. The more health, the more damage you do. It is damage capped though, and yeah, the more buffs do a certain percent of the opponent's health. But like I said, there is a damage cap on that. So yeah, this is pretty much how you maximize your buffs, and yeah, it's actually very easy to keep the buffs active. The special 2 refreshes all the buffs if you have 2 of those Odin Force charges. And you see I'm also using Dexterity right before the special 2, because another thing the special 2 does is it pauses the duration on all buffs on Odin while you're using your special 2. So it just straight up pauses the Dexterity buff as well, so it's just another buff to deal more damage. So like Odin against Winter Soldier, you're like, that fight looked pretty clean. It was pretty quick. His damage output was pretty nice. But again, that is with the Odin Sleep active, and that's also a pretty ideal health pool that Odin was facing in Winter Soldier. About that 500,000 mark is pretty much the sweet spot for Odin, for like his damage cap, how that works and everything like that. So yeah, that's the rotation I like to use for building up Odin. And once you get into that rotation, it's very easy to just keep cycling those special 2s, keep dealing big damage, and keep all those buffs active. And it's not too difficult to get them all back if some fall off. You can just go for a special 3, and then like I said, you activate all the personalized buffs that you've triggered in that fight, and then keep going special 2, keep refreshing them. With the energized buffs, you gain a lot of power really quick, so that's really nice. And yeah, you keep that True Strike active for the whole fight, so you can counter. That's like pretty much his only utility. I really wish he had more utility. I wish he had an armor break. I wish he had some immunities. I just wish he had more, really. And yeah, I wish he didn't have that Odin Sleep limitation. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Just a quick showcase on Odin. I'm going to do some more gameplay fighting Labyrinth of Legends Star-Lord, so you guys can see a bit of a longer-esque fight to see how Odin stacks up there. But that's going to do it for this one. If you guys did enjoy, I would appreciate a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more content. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of Odin down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Peace out.